Centaur, your kind of company.
Tonight on CTV3 News, as we speak, sugar industry stakeholders along with government officials, including Prime Minister John Briceño, tried to broker an agreement between BSI-ESR and the BSCFA. The meeting has been going on for hours with no avail. 2023-2024 crop season gets underway with protests and a shortage of cane. And a duo of robbers are detained and beaten by villagers of San Pablo in Orange Walk after they enter Jenny's mini store and rob the cashier of more than $1,000. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for December 22nd, 2023.
How to win $1,000 cash per branch.
Install or update to Express Plus streaming app. Also win another $1,000 cash per branch. Update your account balance up to December. Update your personal information to get your e-ticket. Drawing date January 5th, 2024 on the Despierta Belize Morning Show. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from Centaur's family.
Good evening with your news, also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. As we get into the news tonight, the Prime Minister, Honorable John Briceño, Minister of Agriculture, Jose Mai, leaders of the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association, members of the Sugar Industry Control Board, BSI, ESR, and Tate and Lyle remain in meeting at the agriculture station in Yoke Creek. They have been in discussion since morning trying to close the gap that currently exists between the BSCFA and the BSI-ESR. The hope is that an agreement will be brokered, one that will benefit both entities. At the center of the discussion is for BSI to become a conveyor and be the one to pay out fair trade premiums to farmers. In return, BSCFA would agree to sign a commercial agreement for more than 1 year. As we speak, that discussion is still underway as proposals and counter-proposals are being made while the government serves as intermediary. Our news team is still at the site of the meeting and we hope to bring you the results of that discussion further into the newscast. But for now, we can tell you that members of the Cane Farmers Association marched through the streets of Orange Walk Town today. Their call was for a commercial agreement to be signed so that their farmers can deliver their cane. It has been 3 years that the largest farmer association has been unable to agree on a long-term commercial agreement with the millers. With the 2024 crop season off to an official start today, the BSCFA took to the streets with the hope of forcing a reaction from government to facilitate a solution that will allow their farmers the opportunity to deliver cane as a united association. Norma Ruiz reports.
As early as 9 o'clock this morning, farmers began to gather at the headquarters of the Belize Cane Farmers Association, preparing to take to the streets in a peaceful protest as they demand that a commercial agreement is signed for the benefit of their farmers. With placards calling on government to intervene and BSI to reach a fair agreement, a group of about 100 plus farmers of the association marched the main streets of Orange Walk Town in an effort to bring their message across. As the clock struck 10 and the gates of the mill opened, marking the start of the 2024 crop season, the BSCFA asked their farmers to stand strong and not to deliver their cane until and unless an agreement is reached.
We are protesting because we want a fair commercial agreement to all of our farmers. We don't want BSI to continue taking advantage of our farmers. They are proposing 1 year delivery for our individual farmers, so we want an agreement signed to the whole association, so all farmers can BSFA can sign and can deliver cane as a whole. We want the government to approach BSI and make for us to sign a 1 year contract for us to continue in negotiating. Meanwhile, the Commission of Inquiry goes through for the next coming year.
Now, while the number of protesters represent less than 10% of the total membership, the leaders of the association say the support was felt in other ways, including the decision of members not to deliver their cane to the mill today.
We don't have the majority of the farmers here, but I know that they are all at home. They have different jobs, so they are all, still supporting us in a way. And I have the support of other farmers that are same on that position of not delivering as a means of support to us.
If you go to BSI right now, there is no cane being delivered by BSCFA members. We have our members that they are supporting us. Even we have some members of the other association. Their leadership are not supporting us, but they are members of the other association that are supporting us, that are supporting our cause, because they clearly understand that what we are looking for is a benefit for our farmers.
And while the BSCFA says it is not looking to disrupt the crop season, they are expecting government's intervention to ensure a favorable outcome for the membership of the BSCFA this time around.
We are expecting this to be signed as urgent as possible, so we are calling for the minister and all the ministers of the North to do their job and make us sign an agreement.
It has been 3 years since we have been trying to come out with a negotiation with BSI. And we have fallen to this third year where we are still like in square one. Our move where we are at this point in time is that we are calling on BSI because every time we have been calling on them to come to the table and negotiate, the response from them is what I throw on the table or nothing. That's not a way of negotiation. We want something that will give at least a benefit to our farmers based on their sacrifices that they are doing. We have reached to this point now where we were expecting that the government will bring out the Commission of Inquiry as early as possible so that the Commission of Inquiry can start to do their job. That has not happened. We have reached to this point right now where we are. We were giving time to the government to do certain things that we have been asking for. Nothing has happened as yet. So now we reached to this point on which they have declared a start of crop without having the BSCFA signing an agreement. But yet what BSI have brought out is that they have brought out a press release on which they are calling our farmers to deliver without having any signature of an agreement. We sent that information to Alaya. Alaya said, please tell your farmers not to deliver under those conditions because once they trigger that and start to deliver, they start to become individual farmers. So that is why we are here. We are calling the attention of our farmers. Please don't deliver until we have a signed agreement with BSI.
While it was expected that the leadership of the unions would have joined the association in today's protest action, their absence was noticed. They have, however, expressed their support for the association. Reporting for CTV3 News, Norma Ruiz.
Simultaneously, as the farmers of the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association were walking the streets of Orange Walk Town in peaceful demonstration, in Tower Hill, a different kind of movement was also in full works as members of other associations lined up in queue to deliver their cane to the BSI factory.
At exactly 10 a.m., the traditional siren inside the BSI mill marked the official start of the 2023-2024 sugarcane crop season. Unlike the traditional pomp and circumstance which surrounds the start of the annual crop season, Today, the atmosphere was muted as the industry continues to be marred by uncertainty over the long-standing impasse between the millers and the largest cane farmer association, BSCFA. While there was no traditional hype surrounding today's start of crop, BSI-ASR says they are glad to open their gates to farmers who are willing and able to deliver their cane, and even happier that the season kicked off on a peaceful note.
We're pleased to see today that there's security out here. I think if you go around the highways, you will see checkpoints at different locations on the Philip Golson Highway, which is really good. I think that's a signal to farmers that the government will do its part to ensure that the rule of law is upheld and that they can deliver their cane without any interruption or disruption. So that's a very good sign. From our end, we're here, we're ready. Our boilers are lit. We're getting our turbine online. We have trucks here at the queue already. We'll start receiving it shortly. And once we've accumulated sufficient amount of cane, then we will commence the milling. And we think once farmers see that the crop is starting, then we'll start seeing more activity. It's really important that we get the crop going. Starting late December is not good. It puts us out of cycle with our sugar cane. We ideally want to finish the crop by late May or early June to avoid going deep into the rainy season, and therefore starting early December is really important. But we're pleased that we're here today to get the crop going. We have the 3 other associations who have 2,000 farmers that are ready to deliver cane, and so we're happy to make a start, and we hope that the BSCFA farmers can show up, or alternatively we reach an agreement with the BSCFA.
Though the crop season is now unfolding, cane delivery is not where it needs to be. It is being hindered by the lack of delivery from the BSCFA. This slow start, according to BSI, however, is not expected to drag on for very long.
The mill has, along with the power plant, 2 boilers and 2 turbines. So if we don't get the cane from the BSCFA, it means we only operate with 1 boiler and 1 turbine. So we'll be milling at 50% capacity. It's not ideal, but at least we get the crop going and get the cane in, because we do need to start producing sugar. We do have contractual commitments that we need to meet, and therefore something is better than nothing in our view. And it has happened in the past 2 years when we were doing the air emission project where we had to start at 50% capacity. So it's not an unusual scenario for us. But for us, it's better to get a start as opposed to continuing to wait with no certainty of when we will start the crop. I think once we've shown that we're here, we will receive the cane, farmers will start to come, and I think the momentum will pick up.
The open agreement extended to members of the BSCFA, according to Finance Director of BSI, Sean Chavarria, was merely set as an option for farmers to deliver their cane, since negotiations for a commercial agreement with the association is currently on ice.
We don't see it as breaking up the associations. We see it as breaking the deadlock, because we're at a deadlock with the BSCFA. We saw that there was a very low probability of reaching a long-term agreement with the BSCFA, and so the whole crop would have stayed in limbo. We have to also remember that we have 2,000 farmers who want to deliver cane. Yes, the BSCFA is 50% of the cane. They have 3,000 membership, but there's also 2,000 other cane farmers in this industry that want to deliver cane, that have agreements with us. So there is a balance that has to be struck at the end of the day. We also have our contractual arrangements that we have to meet and commit to. And so we saw this as a way to move forward, to get the crop started without disrupting the industry significantly. It's simply a mechanism to allow the BSCFA farmers to deliver their cane while their leadership makes a decision in terms of reaching a long-term commercial agreement.
The leadership of the BSCFA has said that, and if BSCFA farmer who delivers their cane under that open contract would no longer belong to the BSCFA. Is that the understanding of the millers?
That certainly is not our understanding, because we are not requesting that the farmers of the BSCFA renounce their membership. It's simply that they can deliver their cane under an open arrangement. We will receive their cane as members of the BSCFA. So I'm really not sure where that commentary might be coming from, unless they are going to put that penalty on their membership. But certainly from our end, that's not our understanding.
Like the millers, the leadership of the Curacao Sugarcane Producers Association, CSCPA, And the Progressive Sugarcane Producers Association, PSCPA, welcomed the start of the crop season despite the turmoil surrounding the industry.
We are very positive this year to start this crop. No, on behalf of the CSCPA, I can clearly state that my cane farmers are ready to start to bring in their trucks. At the moment, they are loading, right? Some of them have a little late start, but let's hope the weather holds up, no, and they manage to load. Sadly, that is happening for not 3 years, right? I have heard in the media lately it's been 3 years. No, it's more than that. It has been almost 10 years, right? And that is where it came that we now as Corazza sugarcane producers now exist, no? Because of that same animosity there was back then in the industry. But now the problem continues, and it is sad because the ones that are getting hurt are the cane farmers, right, from the other associations. And that is where our mission and vision in the CSCPA is to look after the livelihoods and lives of our cane farmers, right? So those are the things that we need to abide by.
There's a low turnover, basically, because a lot of the group leaders were concerned when it comes to the security, the foods and the road safety and things like that. But I think we've seen the response from the government. There is security outside on all major roads. And tomorrow will be a different day, for sure. I think tomorrow our association will come at full force. That's how we felt before, but not today. I think today we can see the impartiality, really. I think that the government is supporting both sides, trying to adjust with the different needs. For example, I can speak for today. I mean, if there are associations that want to deliver, we are giving the opportunity, unlike 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we felt really that we were not taken care of as farmers. But today is a different situation.
Moving forward, however, the smaller associations say they are looking forward to stepping up to the plate to secure cane delivery to the mill.
There are two things that we need to make clear. One is volume of cane farmers, and one is volume in production, right? Yes, at the moment BSCFA has production, has volume of cane farmers, but depends on how each association will try to manage in the near future the production, right? And we are in CSCP are trying to step up to the plate, no? We are investing a lot in replanting, no? So we are trying to move forward.
Reporting for CTV3 News, Norma Ruiz.
As the 1 o'clock deadline set out by the BSCFA to hear from the government or BSI-ASR rolled around, the leadership of the BSCFA was invited to join government leaders, including Prime Minister John Briceño, Agriculture Minister Jose Mai, and SICB Chairman Marcos Osorio at the agriculture station in Ewe Creek Village for real-time negotiations with the millers. The BSCFA, according to Fred Ortega, walked into that gathering with set demands, the most controversial being that BSI-ASR accepts to be the conveyor of fair trade premiums.
At this point in time, the minister said that he is negotiating, that BSI don't want to come down from the 3 years. So he asked the association to bring out what we would, or what would take the BSCFA to sign a 3-year agreement, and what condition we would want to have in that agreement. And that is what they went there to do, to put our condition forward. But we want to be very clear to this. The leadership cannot accept and sign anything without going to a General Assembly with the farmers on whatsoever comes out. Once we see as leaders that it is favorable to our farmers, then that will trigger for a meeting or a general meeting with the farmers.
But what exactly is it that your leaders will request now that they are in that meeting? Could you be more open when it comes to that?
Well, indeed, what we are looking for in Kami is that we want that BSI be the conveyor. We want that this agreement, once the Commission of Inquiry do their necessary investigation and they come out with any information, that information can be used as fast as it can be for our new agreement, and also for it that the government can use it for the act. So that are 2 points that we are taking to the table and also, well, most of all, signing something before our farmers start to deliver.
So if you all get that, you would agree to a 3-year agreement, commercial agreement?
That is why I said it depends on what we are taking to the table. Because as you know, BSI has always come to what they throw on the table. That is what we have to accept. And this time, we're not working in that way.
No agreement has been reached between BSI, ASR, and the BSCFA. That is the word coming out tonight from the long-drawn meeting held at the Yule Creek Agriculture Station in Orange Walk. Our news team is just back and managed to speak with Minister of Agriculture, Jose Mai, after the session was postponed for tomorrow. Here is that unedited interview.
You guys have been at it basically the entire day since morning discussion with Tate and Lai, BSI, ASR, Sugar Industry Control Board, leaders of the association. What have you all come up with? Is there an agreement now?
Kami, these negotiations are never easy between the cane farmers, Belize Cane Farmers Association, and BSI, ASR. We were in meetings all day, in communication with Mark, who's in London. Unfortunately, we arrived at no position, no agreement. It's already more than 2 in the morning in London, and so we decided to pause for today, but tomorrow we resume with more fresher minds and probably open minds, and hopefully we can reach a agreement where both parties will benefit mutually. As I say, it is never easy to negotiate a position with BSCFA and ASR.
You look quite disappointing and concerned at the same time, because you do know how important the industry is and the start of the crop. What is the controversial point here, though? Because I do know that there are several demands being made. So what is the most controversial point that cannot make you all reach an agreement?
Well, there are a number of them. One of them is the duration of an agreement. The farmers proposed 1 year. BSI wants 3 years. We went in the middle with 2 years. That didn't work out. Also, the fair trade premiums, who will be responsible? BSI, Tate and Lyle. That again, a position was not arrived at that. On that position, no agreement was arrived at. Sorry, and a number of other points that were discussed, one of them being throughput costs, other handling costs. Essentially, we couldn't get any of the parties to agree. I think that maybe the late hour may have brought on a lot of exhaustion, and I think minds were not clear, I think, and I hope that tomorrow we begin fresh and to have better rationale in making these decisions. Of course, I'm disappointed. I had hoped that we would have arrived at some compromise, both parties, but that did not happen, Kami. And so tomorrow we meet again, my technical team, with the Prime Minister for a while, and the CFA to see how best we can deal with this matter.
Sir, do you believe that if you all would have, I do know that you have the subcommittee mediator and all of that, but do you believe that if you all would have come together the way you did today, probably you could have reached an agreement before the start of crop? I mean, we have the Prime Minister, we have yourself, we have Mr. Osorio from the Sugar Industry Control Board. Everybody is coming together. And I think this is the first time that's taking place instead of having a subcommittee intervene.
No, no, Kami, we have never left. We have never let this alone. My ministry has been working diligently, um, looking at the ways, looking at the regulations that may help to get transparency in the industry, looking at policies, um, looking at the commission inquiry. My ministry has done tremendous amounts of work. I think I have to commend Mr. Osorio and Jose Novello and ministry, Mr. Polanco, who has been always there. The ministry, the sugar industry is a monster in being, and it's very difficult to understand. The industry is very complicated, and so they have given their all out to try to find some kind of long-term solution to the impasse, and so it definitely discourages at times. But as the Minister of Agriculture, I have to lead, and so tomorrow we meet again. I'm always an optimist, and so tomorrow we rest. We rest tonight, and tomorrow come back fresh to see if you can make some progress in negotiations.
As mentioned, the meeting resumes tomorrow for further negotiations. Coming up next, villagers detain criminals after they rob a store in San Pablo. Stay tuned.
Are you out of cash and need some extra money quick? Then worry no more. At Monica's Quick Cash, you can pawn your vehicle for fast money and still drive away freely. We're also the best place to pawn your TVs or gold jewelry and sell your scrap gold. Monica's Quick Cash. Number 128, Cemetery Road, Belize City. Number 14, Constitution Drive, Belmopan, across from the Belize Bank. And number 2, Belize Corozal Road, Orange Walk Town. Pawn and drive, cash for gold. Fast money with Monica's Quick Cash. Give us a call today at telephone 207-0970.
¿Cómo ganar $1000 en efectivo por sucursal?
Instale o actualice la aplicación de Transmisión Express Plus. ¿Cómo ganar otros $1000 en efectivo por sucursal? Actualice el saldo de su cuenta a diciembre. Actualice sus datos personales para obtener su boleto electrónico. El sorteo será el 5 de enero del 2024 en el programa Despierta Belice. La gerencia y personal de Centar le desea a clientes y amigos una feliz Navidad y un próspero año nuevo.
A duo of men is tonight facing charges of robbery after they held up the cashier and a customer of Jenny's mini store in San Pablo, Orange Walk yesterday. But the real story here is that after the crime was committed and the men were able to walk away with more than $1,000 in cash, they were detained by villagers who placed a beating on them. When we visited the store owner today, Denny Chan, he declined an interview. We were able to speak, though, to a customer who had just exited the store when the ordeal that was caught on camera unfolded. Elmer Cornejo has the story.
Two men from Orange Walk town are tonight regretting having held up the cashier of Jay's Mini store located in San Pablo Village, Orange Walk, yesterday evening after they were apprehended by villagers who placed a beating on them. The incident unfolded around 5:30 p.m. after the duo entered the store as regular customers, pretending to make a purchase while the cashier was behind the counter. But in a split second, the situation turned ugly for the cashier as one of the men placed a knife on her throat, while the second criminal held up a customer also with a knife. The men carried out the act without concealing their identities, and that helped to identify them as 26-year-old Kenny Perez from a Pomona Street address in Orange Walk, and Esmir Garrido, also 26 years of age from an Antelope Street address in Orange Walk town. Fearing for her life, we understand the cashier handed over $1,668.40 in Belizean currency, along with 2 Belican stouts and a mine bear, bringing the total value of stolen items to $1,676.64. Today, when we visited the village of San Pablo, we spoke to the cashier's cousin, Alba Morales, who told us that following the theft, the assailants attempted to flee with the cash and stolen goods.
Pues la verdad, yo fui con el chino a comprar. Y cabal, yo estaba saliendo pues así de con el chino, pues entraron pues los dos hombres. Y después yo me quité, me vine como tenía a mi nieta acá para ver. Yo no traía, solo pagué y me quité porque solo estaban Anelvi y otro uno, que estaban dos de ellos estaban allá, porque además el chino no estaba, solo ellos dos estaban. Y yo solo pagué y todo, saliendo yo cuando entraron los hombres. Y fue que yo llegando acá cuando me dijeron que acaban de asaltar al chino. Y ahora estaba otro uno llegó y a él sí lo lastimaron, al otro uno que llegó a comprar también lo lastimaron a él. Y pues yo me vine ahora cuando después que yo estoy llegando acá, cuando oigo que están la gente corriendo, oigo que vinieron a alcanzar a los dos hombres que se escaparon, que agarraron con el chino. Y ahora yo salí a ver y sí, lo tenían acá, ya lo habían agarrado. Pero el otro uno se corrió, dicen que se corrió, pero no estaba arriba de una mata. De arriba de la mata lo bajaron con todo el bag de dinero que tenía él. Que se estaba tratando de escapar, lo andaban buscando y todo, pero aquí estaba cerquita, estaba del otro uno, del compañero que asaltó. Y arriba de la mata, acá cerca, ahí lo bajaron de la mata, lo agarraron con el bag de dinero. Ajá.
¿Es la primera vez que usted sabe si ese supermercado intentan robarlo?
No, son segunda vez con esta primera vez lo intentaron hacerlo, pero no alcanzaron a los hombres y esto fue la segunda vez. Que a veces sí lo intentaron igualmente, pero no lo alcanzaron. Pues esta vez sí, pues sí le sacaron algo al chino, pero gracias a Dios que encontraron el dinero, pues.
The chase ended at this corner of the dirt road that leads to Douglas Village, with one of the men trying to climb a tree, only to be dragged down by villagers, while the second individual was arrested near this area. When police arrived at the scene, they found that the villagers had already detained Paris and Garrido, who displayed injuries. Paris had a swollen cut wound on his left eye, and Garrido had a cut on his right ear. The men were taken into police custody and treated at the Northern Regional Hospital. Today, when we spoke to the chairman of San Pablo Village, Javier Sabido, he expressed gratitude for the swift response of the villagers as it led to the apprehension of the suspects and the recovery of the stolen property.
It's so unfortunate that we had a situation yesterday whereby an incident occurred at the Chinese store. We have never experienced such an situation before, no? So all the community is in shock right now. And I was informed minutes after the incident that a local Chinese store in the San Pablo village was robbed. Unfortunately, there were some persons that were injured, but nevertheless that the robbers were caught by the same villagers, which we applaud the community for coming together and to get the robbers apprehended while the police was coming from Orange Walk to San Pablo, no? I also understand that a person that was doing his groceries shopping at the store was injured by one of the robbers. Um, but I think a sharp object was cut his hand, and then he was transported for medical attention. The store owner got in contact with me immediately after the incident, and thank God no one was injured severely. But we understand that two robbers were caught at the moment, no, by the villagers.
Sabido says police are looking for a third person who reports suggest is the mastermind behind the robbery.
Today again, I got in contact with the store owner from San Pablo, and the update I got from him was that yes, the police are doing the proper investigations right now, and yes, they have two persons in custody, and also they are looking for a third suspect as well, no, that is meant to be that the person that was the mastermind of all this incident that happened yesterday, no. Unfortunately, the situation occurred at one of our local shop owners, no. But yes, police are doing their investigation today, and many videos and pictures have reached to me, which I cannot confirm and which I cannot put on social media on our page as yet because there hasn't been a police report as yet, no. So we're just waiting for the police report to come up, and then yes, the police are busy doing their investigation as we speak.
While the store has been targeted before, it was the first time that the robbery was executed. Elmer Cornejo, CTV3 News.
Minutes before midday, a fire broke out on the second floor of Zine Hughes store located at the corner of 11th Avenue North and the Philip Golson International Highway. The fire department, located just a few blocks from the store, was called in, and in a matter of minutes, the response team was on the scene. Spectators watched from a safe distance as thick smoke emanated from between both buildings. After quick action from the firefighters and volunteers, the fire was dosed and controlled. Business was halted for a few hours since no electricity could be restored immediately. No report is available at this time to declare what caused the fire and if the extent of the damages and value to the building or its contents is also not known. Lately, the Heritage Bank has been targeted by thieves who seem to have a liking for the bank's automated teller machines located across the country. According to reports, in the wee hours of this morning, the ATM that was housed at the U Mall in Ladyville on the Philip Golson Highway was removed. A video made available on social media shows large portions of the ATM scattered on the pavement. Police are now investigating the matter and are looking for the culprits. As per the bank, in a recent interview, it indicated that it is considering terminating the ATM services after a number of attacks on their machines. There is no word as to what amount of cash was inside the ATM at the time of the theft. And that's news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Friday, December 29th here on CTV3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at CTV3BelizeNews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at Facebook.com/CTV3BelizeNews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.